You're watching Single Process with Joe and Bob. We've created this series of videos to help you navigate the difficult process of divorce. We hope this helps you on your journey. Our topic on this episode is creating and the need for a financial plan.
Yep, I blew this one. I never had a financial plan. I had a tax accountant, but that was about it.
I just didn't actually want to look at my budget. I didn't want to face the reality of what it looked like when on a piece of paper. So
Totally
I think
true.
I avoided for a long time.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, Loretta Hutchinson is with us today, and she's outstanding at this. She's a Certified Divorce Financial Analyst. Who knew there was such a thing? With a master's in counseling and training in collaborative divorce. Her company, The Financial Divorce Plan, helps clients make smart financial decisions during and after divorce.
Welcome, Loretta.
Welcome. I'm glad to be here.
We're thrilled to have you here.
Glad to be part of this single process.
Yeah, oh, thanks. So, why does someone need a certified divorce financial analyst?
You know, it's funny, Barb. The biggest question, or one of the biggest questions I get is, I have an attorney, somebody who prepares my taxes. Why do I need a CDFA, which is a Certified Divorce
I
Financial
truly didn't
Analyst?
know there was such a who's the accreditation through?
It's through the IDFA, but it's interesting you say that you didn't know. It is relatively sort of in its infancy, right? But as people, you don't really want to educate yourself about what to do in case of, right? We don't really go into marriage thinking, okay, plan B and get ourselves educated.
No, that's why we resist the prenup, right?
We probably should. I think you'd behave differently in your marriage if you thought this was an outcome, quite frankly.
Yes, I think you always have to have a healthy sense of skepticism, right?
Yeah.
You know, trust but verify.
Well, you wouldn't distance yourself from the financials. You'd stay more on top of things or part of that.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. But I can tell you that as women, you know, we love and nurture our family. We only have so much energy to, move in that world. And I think what happens is when we have a partner and we have children, you split the duties. And what I'm finding is that there's one, and in general, I don't want to stereotype. Yeah, who
We're
sort of
smart
says,
ladies. It's not like we're,
yes, who says, okay, I'm going to do the best on the day-to-day business of finances, and I'm going to get that covered, and we're going to hand that over to, the other partner who seems to be doing it well.
What do you do in your relationship, since you are the financial expert?
Oh, I tell you, I have a very strong fingers on the pulse of my finances.
You do?
Woulda, coulda, shoulda, because I would, going back, I tried to stay involved, but I just found I got more and more pushback because it was not my area of expertise.
And it's like anything, the less you do of it, the less confident you are, you just get removed.
Yes, and you're confident that they're handling it and doing it well. And quite frankly, there's a lot of people who are not comfortable with numbers, and so the long range planning. And so if someone will take it, off their plate and they've got lots of other things to do, it's okay. But unfortunately, we've tried. I'm really passionate about educating women and finances. Not necessarily that they have to know how to day trade or any of that stuff.
We're far from that.
Yeah. And actually, that's not even a skill set I would even want you to be doing. But I want you to be able to know, where are things? Are you insured? Who's insured? And what does that mean? Very high level concepts. And revisit that every year. The biggest time of the year that I find people become very financially focused is tax time.
Tax time. Gotta come up with the cash.
And before you sign that tax return, ask some questions.
Loretta, tell me, what does a financial plan actually look like? What are the line items before we get into too much detail?
Yeah, because I did a financial affidavit.
Right.
Right? It's the same thing.
Well, not really. A financial affidavit is more of a legal document. It's listings of income, assets, debts, lots of things.
Okay.
A financial plan actually is a very personal thing. It's about your lifestyle and what it's going to look like when you are a single adult. Okay? So we like to take a pulse point of, what do you spend in a month as a couple? And then we can translate that into, okay, that's what it was or is, and this is what it will be. What does your life going to look like on a spending number as a single adult? And then we add that up, take that into consideration for a yearly number, right? And then we look at, what alimony will you be receiving? What other income do you have? Do you have income from investments?
Okay.
What assets are you going to be bringing over from the marital distribution? What will you be receiving and that will be totally in your name? How can we plan a stream of income for you, maybe for the rest of your life, should you decide not to work, depending upon your age? Or maybe
it's a memo to go back to work.
Exactly. And quite honestly, I encourage my clients, regardless of their circumstances, to go back to work. Divorce is a very sort of personal and can sort of upend your sense of who you are in the world.
And it can be kind of isolating. You lose, in many cases, friends,
Yes.
your support structure, or your social structure, should I say.
Yeah, I was even going to say, I would suspect that a lot of people actually don't get divorced because they're afraid of this piece, the finances.
And I would absolutely agree with you. And I have to tell you that people find me on the internet. Okay, so they'll do a Google search and they'll come up with me and they'll give me a call. I will be the first person that they actually speak to regarding this. They've never
Regarding divorce in...
Yes, they've never spoken that word to any friend or family or to their significant other, right?
Yeah.
And that's what the first thing I say is, if this is the direction that you're moving, we need to see where you're at. You need to collect some documents. You need to determine, what your life, if you could wave a wand, what would your life look like as a single adult? And then we see, does it make sense? If it doesn't make sense now, what do we have to do or not do in the next few years, few months, in order to get yourself at a place where you are at the ready to then sit down and say confidently, I think this is the way I'm going.
Well, it really would help with so much of the decision making along the way as you're negotiating your divorce if you know what your financial plan looks like.
Totally, it's empowering.
Can you afford to keep your marital home? A lot of us anticipate that we will do that to keep the kids stable, but may not be the best financial decision.
Yeah.
And it might not be the best financial decision, but it's a big concern, particularly for the women. They want to keep that stable home. And I totally get it. That's really important. So what we do is we say, okay, let's say we don't sell the home for 2 years. Okay. But on year 3, let's look at what we can do. They're generally in a better place mentally. And quite honestly,
absolutely.
They're ready to move on. The 2-story ceilings that need,
the maintenance?
Yes.
Oh, the maintenance.
The big lawn out back and the driveway that needs to be done and the snow. It gets tiring. It gets old. And you don't want a noose around your neck when you're, moving into, single adulthood again and be able to do more things.
Yeah, when I decided I was getting divorced, I did make a good call, but I called my tax accountant.
Okay.
Now, what's different about that than what you're doing?
Okay, tax accountants are really good. They're really good at what they do.
You were a tax accountant.
I was a tax
So of
accountant.
course you're going to say that.
I know.
Okay, right, but they're really good.
Yeah, but
for this?
I don't think they take enough information and take you through the process, that transitioning of income, where to pull certain pieces for income and assets. We just do a little bit more in depth, and I have to tell you, they're always part of the team, and they're an important part of the team. Being a former tax accountant, I'm very much aware of the tax efficiency of certain things.
Absolutely, and we've covered that.
Yes.
It's just terrific.
What might be better than another. But I generally always run it by either my support tax accountant or my client's tax accountant.
Okay.
So yeah, good.
So looking at that budget, and it's never too late to get started, right? I mean, if you've been divorced for 2 years and you're still floundering, now's as good a time. Better if you do it at the outset, but it sounds like this could be valuable at any stage.
Any stage. Even if you are, again, at home and still there. It's just it's information that you should really know. It's the foundation of how you move in the world, right?
Honestly, even if you weren't getting divorced.
Exactly. I think just having your fingers on the pulse and knowing where things are, documents, and understanding them at a high level, and meeting your financial advisor.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great stuff. Thank you very much. For more information on planning your financial future and other tips, please visit us on singleprocess.me.